Dr. Mike Scaparotto, and Renewals Chiropractic. The purpose of this video is to go over some of the things that you can do at home that will help to take better care of your spine. Now, if you've been to one of our spinal care classes, you'll recognize a lot of things that we're about to go over. But in case you missed it, this will help to make your spine feel a lot better in between your adjustments. And we still highly recommend that you come in and check out one of our spinal care classes in the meantime. So, little anatomy lesson to start. So this is your spine. Your spine is comprised of 24 bones. So you have 7 in the neck, or the cervical region. You have 12 in the thoracic, or the mid-back region. And then you have 5 in the low back, or the lumbar region. As you can see, they all have different curvatures to them. So this is the back of the spine. This is the front of the spine. And the cervical spine curves towards the front of the body. And the thoracic spine curves towards the back of the body. And then again, you have the lumbar spine curving towards the front of the body. Now, if you look down here, this is the pelvic region. And when people say their hip, most of the time you see them pointing to here, which on my body would be right up here. But that's incorrect. So the hip is actually where your leg bone goes into the pelvis, which is what this hole is here. So this is the hip. This joint here is called your sacroiliac joint, or SI joint. And that's also where your sciatic nerve happens to be coming out of. So the nerves in the body, they're there for more than just sending pain. These nerves actually help with the function of our body. So for example, in the neck region, you have the nerves that come out of the neck, and they go to the eyes, the mouth, the throat, the thyroid gland. We have the ones in the mid-back, or the thoracic region. Those go to the heart, the lungs, and the stomach. Then you have the ones in the lumbar region, and those ones go to the kidneys. They go down the leg, all the way down to your toes. And also you have special nerves here, a special bundle of nerves in the neck and upper shoulder area right here, and those ones go down to the fingertips as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some things that you can do at home to help keep your spine in good position and avoid these nerves from getting pinched or irritated, which can cause pain as well as dysfunction. So the first one is with posture. So when I'm standing straight up, looking at me from the side, the ear should be in line with the shoulder and should be in line with the hip. So if you see somebody walking around that's all hunched over like this, that is going to likely cause pinching or irritation of those nerves, and they need to be adjusted to help restore proper, not only function, but also proper posture to their body, take the pressure off of them. One of the big things we see people coming in is with lifting. How do most people lift when they injure themselves? They're bending over at the waist to pick something up. And what that can do, we use our little spine model here, is when they bend over like that and go like this, you could actually cause straining here on the muscles in the back. You could actually cause, when you bring the object back up and going backwards, you can pinch the nerves coming here out of the holes. You could, even when going forward, cause extra pressure and undue pressure on these discs that are in between the bones. And the discs are there not only as spacers for the hole to come out, but are also there as cushions when we walk and jog and run, and make sure that these bones don't hit up against each other. So when lifting, you never want to lift using the back. You always want to lift using your legs. So in lifting, it's best to get down into a crouch position, holding that object as close to you as you can, and then standing straight up. Now we have a little saying to help you remind yourself on how you should be lifting. And that saying is nose and toes in the same direction. So for example, if I wanted to take and move a table in front of me, I would use my legs to pick it up. And then using the rule of nose and toes in the same direction, I'm going to turn with the object until it is where I would like for it to be, and move it to where I'd like to be, and gently set it down. So you want to avoid movements of a combination of bending, twisting, lifting, and reaching. Any of those there while lifting an object can cause pain in the back. Next, I want to talk about some things you can do at home. So, for example, if you are trying to pick something up off of a higher shelf, how do most people do it? They tend to really reach over and bend over, and what does that do? Well, if we take a look at our spine here, that can actually take and pinch things all throughout the back on one side. As you can see, there are these nerves, again, that are coming out of the spine, and we don't want those to get pinched. So Another good thing to take home from this is an ounce of prevention is worth its weight in gold. So if you're going to be reaching for something off of a high shelf, get a step ladder, get a stool, get something to stand on to bring you closer to it so you can safely bring it down without having to do any of that reaching and stretching up. When doing dishes at home, most dishes, or when you're doing dishes, you tend to be leaned over doing them. So to help stand more upright, getting a stool or even opening up the cupboard underneath the sink and resting your leg on that shelf that is there right where the plumbing is can actually take pressure off of the hamstrings and even off of the glutes. And you can switch from one side or the other to help take pressure off of the low back and the pelvic region. One of the things that we also go over in our classes is driving. Now, people say, okay, how does driving affect you? Well, I will show you. So when you're sitting down in the seat, you should be sitting upright, hands on the steering wheel. Now, where do they teach you? They teach you to put it at 10 and 2. Well, that becomes real uncomfortable for a while, especially in the upper neck and shoulder area. So what we recommend is going from the 10 and 2, bring it down to the 4 and 6 position. You'd be surprised how much control you can still have over that steering wheel, and it keeps your hands down by your side more rather than up top like this. When it comes to sitting, our chairs here, you can't really see, but they have a nice curved back here, and that's to help maintain the proper curvature here in the lumbar spine. So when you're sitting, you should be sitting straight up, back towards the seat, feet on the floor if you can. Now, if you do not have a chair like this at home, one of the things you can do is take a rolled up towel, roll it up and put it behind the back, and that can actually help to create and maintain the proper curvature that you should have in the back. Now, when people sit in many different ways, especially when it comes to their legs. When it comes to guys, how do guys like to sit? They like to sit with their legs crossed, like this. When it comes to women, they tend to cross it over a little more. What does that do to our pelvis and to our spine? What happens is we cross that leg over, it actually takes and pulls on that pelvis and rotates it over like so. And what that can do is pinch these nerves, not only coming out of the spine here, but also these nerves that come out of the sacrum, as you can see, and these nerves create what you may have heard of be called the sciatic nerve. People have sciatica is simply having these nerves being pinched and irritating, causing pain down that sciatic nerve. So what do we recommend? Rather than crossing them over at the leg, you can't see it because of the video, but if you cross your legs over at the ankles, you will then be able to widen up those hips and take pressure off the hips and even the pelvis a lot more easily without throwing the pelvis and the low back out of alignment. Now, we all have them. We carry them in our purses, we carry them in our pockets. Cell phones. Cell phones have become a big problem in the chiropractic world because people are constantly hunched over and head down while on their cell phones. So what do we recommend? We're using a cell phone or a tablet, taking and holding it up a little bit higher. Now, it may look goofy or it seems goofy at first, but I will tell you this. You'll be saving yourself a lot of pain. Like I said, an ounce of prevention is worth its weight in gold. Because when you're there on your cell phone and your head is completely down, look what that does to the spine, especially in the neck area. There was a study that was done and shown on CBS News about 5 years ago, showing that for every inch that your head went forward, you put an extra 10 pounds of pressure on your neck. Well, here's the thing. You already have a bowling ball that sits on top of your neck, right? And that weighs about 12 to 16 pounds. And that's the amount of weight that your neck is designed to be able to hold up. So when you add an extra 10 pounds, 20 pounds, or even 30 pounds, that puts even more pressure on those bones. It can lead to disc degeneration, joint degeneration, as well as bone demineralization. So holding the cell phone up out in front of you rather than hunched over is going to be best for your back and for your neck. Now, when it comes to carrying other personal items such as money or even credit cards, guys and girls tend to do it differently. Guys, what do they carry? Nice big fat wallet, right? And where do they keep it? In their back pocket. Well, here's what happens when you have that wallet in that back pocket. You will actually take and create an unnecessary lift to that pelvis. And as you can see, when you have that lift, it actually takes and distorts the lumbar spine as well as the pelvis. So what do I recommend for the gentleman? Taking the wallet, slimming it down as much as you can if you need to have a wallet, and putting it in the front pocket rather than the back. I will actually tell patients to get rid of the wallet completely and try to get a money clip or something that can hold a few cards plus the cash and any documents that may be necessary for you to keep around if you have some. But putting it in the front pocket is going to be better than putting it in the back pocket. Now make sure it's not too big because you have nerves that run along the front side here that can also be pinched from the thickness of the wallet. So be careful of that as well. For the women, they tend to carry purses. And where do they carry it? On their shoulders. And these things are not light. They tend to be they can weigh as much as a small book bag. So I recommend making the purse as light as possible and carrying it more down by your side rather than on your shoulder. So you have that purse, you have these nerves that come out, and the shoulder is right about this level here. So what happens is that purse will actually take and pull down on the spine this way. Or if they take and they wrap it around and carry it on the other side, it puts a pressure at an angle down on that side too. And that will pinch the nerves that are coming out of the shoulder and then go all the way down the fingertips. So let's go ahead and move to the one area that I get the most questions with. And that one is sleeping. So when people ask me what type of bed I should sleep in, or they ask me what position, I can tell you this. The name or brand of the bed doesn't matter, but a firmer mattress tends to have the spine be more stabilized than a softer mattress. You want to be careful of mattresses that have really thick pillow tops, because just like if you were to take and lay pillows on the floor and lay on them, there's not going to be so much support there for your spine, and you can actually throughout the night cause these nerves to be pinched and irritated that way as well. So when it comes to sleeping on your back is going to be the best position, with a pillow properly supporting the head and the neck to give it its proper curvature. The weight of your body tends to help with the other curvatures in the spine, so you don't have to worry about putting any pillows or any blankets or any towels underneath the low back of the pelvis or even the knees. If you cannot sleep on your back, like myself, side sleeping is going to be the next best position. Now with this one, you want a pillow underneath your head and neck that supports the neck and keeps it straight. You also want to make sure you take a pillow about the width of your own fist, put it in between the knees, and that will help to keep the pelvis and the low back now in line, but keep them from rotating one side or the other. Now with the pillow sleeping on your side, be careful it's not too big or too small. I have a theory that if you sleep with an arm underneath your head, or you have to take and put something underneath your neck while you're sleeping on your side, your pillow is probably inadequate for keeping the proper position. And the way you can tell is having somebody take a look at you while you're lying on your side, and if the head on your pillow tends to go up, then the pillow is too big. If the head falls down to the side, then the pillow doesn't provide enough support. You need to get a new pillow. The reason we do not want you to sleep on your stomach, for all you stomach sleepers out there, is because you don't have a bed at home like you have here at the chiropractic office that has a center cut for your face to go into. So what do you have to do? You have to turn your head to one side or the other. Let's go ahead and do a little close-up here. So watch what happens when I take and I turn this head from one side to the other. Ready? You can see that it actually moves all the way down into the lumbar spine, which is all the way down here. You saw that last one move. So even though you may feel like it's just affecting the neck and having it turn, it's actually going all the way down the spine because of how intricately connected your spine is. So that's going to do it for our quick review on some of the things you could do at home to make your spine a little bit more on the healthy side and also keep your adjustments lasting longer. So if you ever have any questions, please contact your chiropractic office. Give us a call, ask us questions when you're on one of your appointments. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thanks for listening. Take care.